Right, so it's 7:01. So how about we get it started?
Sounds good.
All right, so welcome everybody to Monday Morning Motivation, and thank you for not making excuses and waking up early and joining today's webinar. We're extremely excited to have Johnny with us today. And let me do my presentation thing because now it's frozen.
And I think Johnny is the best example for not making excuses. Then no matter what he's been through the last few days, he is here with us. So for everyone to Monday Morning Motivation, it's all about having a community that support each other. We celebrate successes. We keep each other accountable, motivated, inspired, and also learn from each other.
Absolutely, absolutely. And as you guys can see on the screen, this is our third webinar for November. So you can see the awesome lineup that we have for the rest of the month. Again, we do this every Monday morning, 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. But we share the monthly program, so you guys know what's coming up. And before giving the floor to Johnny. Yes, Janine?
Yes. If you need more motivation, we finally have our 365 Days of Motivation workbook out there, daily quotes, and also reflection, goal setting, gratitude journaling. And also we now have the bilingual version in Chinese and English available.
We do. And
if you like
you guys...
feel free afterwards, because this is a free webinar. If you love it, feel free to donate, because 50% goes to the 1 Million Tree Project. So we're actually giving money that we can plant trees in our wonderful environment.
Absolutely.
Anything you gotta say?
No, just if you guys ever want to catch up on the previous webinars, you can scan the big QR code in the yellow flyer, and you can find all the webinars from the past months from January. So go there and check that out. And without further ado, it's 7:04. So I think that we got to hand the floor to Johnny. I'm going to make you...
people are waiting and can't wait to see you, Johnny.
Right. So I'll make you co-host, Johnny. So you should be able to share your share your screen. Let me stop sharing mine.
And guys, for you, after the 20-minute of presentation with Johnny, you can ask him lots of questions. So take advantage of it. And if you have questions, even in the meanwhile, feel free to use the chat group, and Johnny will answer it after.
Absolutely.
Okay. Before I start, I would first of all like to thank the community, and I must admit that Janine can be quite motivating. I was close to postponing this for a couple of weeks simply because I just moved to Europe to be here for a few months with my son. And Janine basically kept on pushing and motivating me so hard. So I ended landing in Belgium on Saturday morning in an empty apartment, spending 2 days getting all the stuff in and spending the last 3 hours just to try and get something together for still doing this presentation. So I haven't slept much, but I do look forward to this. I'm going to share my screen now.
It's highly appreciated, Johnny.
Absolutely. We appreciate that very, very much. Thank you.
You definitely fit in the community for not making excuses.
Yeah. Let me see. Can I share this with PowerPoint only, or only the whole screen, right?
Both is fine, as you like.
Yeah, you can select which program you want to share.
Okay, so I'm going to do this one.
For everyone else, in the meanwhile, in case you get a weird message on the chat group, someone who wants you to add them on WeChat, please don't do it. We sometimes have a person coming in, she wants to do sales and tries to add everyone. If this is the case, contact Maria or tag me, and to let us know that we kick out the person. Sorry about that. It sometimes happens, and we wouldn't know how to do it differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. How's...
Yeah. Let me see. Is this working?
It is now, yes.
Perfect. Wonderful.
Good.
Make it big and we're good to go. There we go.
All right. While you can read the boring stuff on the slide, I will tell you the story behind how I came here. So in 2001, I had a motorbike accident and basically I was quite badly damaged. My leg was scrambled, not just broken. My foot was actually the other way around and my arm was pulled out. So for about 8 months, I was looking at the ceiling of my apartment and then basically was reading a book of China. I got interested in China and I said, how about we move to China, to my fiance at that time. She thought I was crazy, but I said, then let's have a holiday. So I came to China on my crutches, walking on my crutches to have a look. And she was sold and I was sold. So we sold the house, we gave away the car to my parents, and then we basically just moved over. We organized a party and we told all our friends, whatever you can see in the house, if you like it, take it. In 3 years, if it's not broken, please give it back. But that's about 17 years ago now. So I don't think I'm going to be able to find anything back after 17 years. And I kind of find China has become my new home. So now I have 2 homes, Europe and China. Okay, I would like to start with all of us having a look at this picture. What does this piece of art show you? I want to spend a few minutes hearing what you see in it. Who feels happy? Why? Who feels sad? And why? You can put it in the chat, or if you like to talk, it's also possible.
Two adults are not getting along with each other, but their inner children want to connect, it looks like.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. It's actually a piece of art from the Burning Man. Who sees somebody else or something else?
I see 2 happy children who are playing together.
Very nice. Any other comments? Other feelings? Thoughts?
Hey, Johnny, can you hear me? It's Brian.
Yes.
Hey, I'm walking on the street. I've actually seen that piece of art in person. And my whole idea about it is we have such a beautiful connection as children, yet we lose that as adults. And it's almost screaming to us to bring that back.
Yeah, I can feel that too. So some people, they see something which is a conflict, some sadness. Some people see happiness, children talking, and then actually some see something more complex, right? Like what it means to have a child that was part of us and maybe is somewhere hidden inside of us now. Now, art speaks to your subconscious, and your emotions tell you what is in your subconscious. So emotions are very important. For example, if a picture or something else makes us feel sad or makes us feel happy, we can ask ourselves, why and how does this emotion express itself in our actions? Do we sometimes have a lack of motivation, for example? Do we sometimes feel lost in life, stuck in our career or in business? Or even, although we are successful in life and career, do we keep feeling something is missing? Now, I'm focusing on the negative ones now, because these would be the ones that you would want to address. The positive emotions obviously will keep you in flow and keep you going. So the question then becomes, if you look at a piece of art or something in life that's happening to you, what is it that is truly giving this emotion? Because often dissatisfied feelings, disconnected feelings, they are related to misalignment with the inner self, or with other words, lack of authenticity. And in the world of today, many things are happening. Some create uncertainty, some create anxiety, some create anger and unhappiness, as you can see on the news every day. So anxiety and uncertainty typically come from a lack of clarity of whom one is and what one can achieve. So confidence and faith comes when authenticity guides you. Also, procrastination and lack of motivation comes from seeking drivers on the outside. Now, a lot of the current anger and unhappiness in the world comes from people projecting their emptiness onto others. Some people call it the shadow. In reality, this comes from advertising having taught us to look at others as happy examples, feeding our unhappiness. So, for example, Carl Gustav Jung. Who knows this German psychoanalyst? Carl Gustav Jung. Can I see some hands or some voices?
I do.
Okay.
Me too.
Me too.
Yeah. So Jung actually relates this to people projecting their shadow or embodying their persona or struggling with their animus or their anima. It leads to typical midlife crisis, but it actually also can set in much faster in society like today, where there's an overload of triggers to look externally. This is the reason, by the way, why today suddenly so many are calling for meditation, which simply is to silence those external voices, to help rediscover, to hear your inner voice again. Now, people used to live in balance with nature and get guidance from what nature was showing them. They could look at a tree and even the tree would talk to them. They were simply connected with their inner self. Now, if this connection is there, then everything speaks to you. And Jung actually calls this the collective subconscious. He accessed this by his patients by dream analysis, but you can see it everywhere. Even in China, the I Ching is in fact the same. It's actually put into a formula. It's really amazing to see how I Ching can actually also help you to see what is in your subconscious. This is also where Jung got his inspiration from it. Now, I want to go to the next slide. This is hacking personal and business growth. This is also the title of the talk. Why am I mentioning this? It's because there's a few steps that you can follow to basically achieve anything. I'm going to explain the 4 steps. But before you can do anything, you need to find this inner balance, this inner peace. And without the inner balance, you can't go to anything else. But the inner balance is when you do meditation, because, for example, did you know when you do meditation, your brain waves, they go down. They go down for example, from 24 to 12. You get more intuitive, you get more easily the voice, your inner voice. But if you can go even lower to theta, your brain goes to about 7. Your conscious typically drops out unless you train your brain to keep conscious while moving to theta. And you can actually do that. And it's very interesting to think because 7 is also the Schumann frequency. It's the frequency of the Earth's magnetic field. So you're basically vibrating at the same level as the Earth. Now, you can even go more down, but let's go back to Jung, okay? So people who are disconnected from themselves, who are inauthentic, they end up having a midlife crisis at some stage in their life. They become bitter, subconsciously angry, and they project the reason for their unhappiness onto others. So they end up fearing death and failing to fulfill their life purpose. Now, once you have reached the state of alpha or theta, you actually also become susceptible to communicate with your subconscious. Now, there are various ways. I mean, some of them you may know because NLP is some form of that. Hypnosis is another form of that. Psyche is another form of that. Just being in flow during sports is another way of that. But this is something you can specifically call upon to, for example, change some of the beliefs that you have in your subconscious. You can also, in that state, for example, read some of the convictions, the beliefs in your subconscious. So when you're in that brain state, you can start communicating with and reprogramming your subconscious. Now this becomes very interesting because your subconscious is actually driving your behavior and driving your triggers. So when you're living your daily life, you are using your mind to think, but you are using your subconscious for creativity, for intuition, and for knowing things that are ahead of you, which can bring you benefits. It's called synchronicity, or simply just innovation. It's always those circumstances that, for example, made Edison find the lamp. He had tried so many different kinds of lamps, but when he was in the dreamy state, suddenly he found the lamp. The same thing with Einstein, the same thing with Newton. So this is where actually the magic can happen. Now, the third step, and there's many more steps behind each of those 4 steps, many more details, different ways you can do that. But the third step is, I call it energy to drive the teams. Now, energy, again, is not just charisma, it's not just passion to drive people. It is also real bodily energy. For example, the chi, for example, the prana, and you can call upon that again in different ways. You can even follow different breathing methodologies, but you need to know the right ones, because some bring you in meditative state, others actually increase energy. They bring the fire. Now, the interesting part is that the subconscious is also that controls the processes in your body. So, for example, this is really beautiful. So genetics, I studied genetics many years ago, has a branch, it's called epigenetics. And the epigenetics is directly influenced by biochemistry in your blood, but even outside of your body. And not only biochemistry, it's even quantum entanglement. We now know this is actually happening. I can't go in detail today, but we know this is now happening. So you can actually call upon this energy, for example, to change the expression of your DNA. You can call upon this entanglement to actually get into theta, to change some of the connections with the field, the unified field. So what I'm trying to say is, you can do this to motivate your people, but you can also do this in a much, much stronger way to really influence them in ways you cannot imagine. You can start reading minds. You can actually pass on even emotions onto others. So ask me questions if you want to know the details, but that is step 3. Step 4 is very simple. Step 4 is basically rapid strategic execution, which is just a very focused, accountable system to get business focusing on critical issues to get very fast progress.
Johnny, let me just interrupt here. Do you have like your phone on, or like some other things? Because we can hear an echo.
Oh,
I don't know if there's like a speaker going on. Maybe that's.
No, this one is off. Only my own.
Okay.
Maria,
right.
there's no echo on my side. It's just Johnny.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. All right. Yeah. No worries. Sorry. Continue.
Okay. So anyway, so these are the 4 steps. How much time do we have left? What time is it now?
We do have a few minutes. So
okay. What I would like to do is a thinkitation exercise. It's like meditation, but actually it is for a certain purpose. Now, just let's do a group session where people simply relax. It's just like meditation. You close your eyes, okay? I'm going to bring you to some state. So if everybody can close their eyes, just put your feet on the ground if possible, or lie down if you are. But close your eyes and go back in time. Okay? Go back as far as you like, ideally somewhere in your childhood. Think about the time you were playing outside. Think about the time where you would get up in the morning, the sun was shining, and just the sunshine would make you feel excited. It would just give you like maybe tickles inside, maybe you felt excited, but you wanted to go outside and you would feel the sun on your skin. Remember the time where there was nothing to think about but to play. The only thing you wanted there was play. In that time, think about something which truly made you happy. It can be a small thing. It could be a place you like to be. It could be something, a game that you like to play. It could be even some music that you remember from that time, or something you saw, like a beautiful flower, any kind of a memory. Just when you were playing as a child, purely enjoying, without thinking about anything. You may have forgotten this, but your subconscious remembers the feeling. So just go in this feeling and take a very deep breath. Very deep like this. And then very slow out. Just enjoy that feeling and let it come to you. Everything else disappears. It's just you there. Now I want you to think about a question you have in life at this moment. Can be anything. You take another deep breath in, and then you very slowly breathe out, blowing out the candle until your lungs are totally empty. And while you're doing that, you put your hands on your heart, and then you simply ask yourself, what is my heart feeling now? And the first thing that comes in your mind, doesn't matter what it is, just take note of that. And I would like some people, if they're willing to share, what it came in their mind while they were asking their heart. Did anybody have any thought coming up while you were blowing out the candle? Can be anything, doesn't have to be relevant in any way.
I felt my heart beating faster for some reason, like more energized.
How were you feeling when you were back in your childhood memory?
Excited about, playing, and excited about going out, and excited about meeting my friends.
How did it feel?
Good, very good.
Anybody else want to share?
I think there's a few comments in the chat. Can you see the chat?
Let me see if I can see that.
We have anger and passion.
Okay. So when the anger comes in, it means something is in there that is currently influencing you today. Don't know what it is at this moment, but it's something that likely is influencing your current way of whatever it is, performance, whether this is your work or career or life. Another, I see Matilda saying, I see my next design in the shop, my heart stayed calm and clear. This is very interesting. So you were seeing something which was ahead of you, which is what you're planning to do. Is that what you mean, Matilda? Excellent. So this is very good. You see, when you are doing this exercise, it's a very, very simple one. It's the simplest one I could do in just 20 minutes, but actually it allows you to just get some insight from your subconscious, whether there is an emotion that actually is important for you to work with. If it is anger, what is behind it? If it is passion, what can you get from it? This is great. And if it's a specific idea, like next design in a shop, it's great because it is actually inspiration. So this is a very simple way how you can actually get some messages from your subconscious, like in just 3 minutes, if you like, in 2 minutes. Now, there are much deeper exercises that can go much more in detail, but I wanted to just show this exercise as an example that you can do for just step 1. Because remember, you need to have this first connection made with your subconscious. You need to have the altered brain state in order to get the information from your subconscious, information that you have to do something with. What Carl Gustav Jung said, he calls that the individuation process. Most people who do not listen to their emotions, they get a midlife crisis and they end up an unhappy life, and they don't die happily. Those who basically listen to their inner voice, they often are happy from the beginning, or they get actually a chance to refocus after the midlife crisis. That's why many people actually just rethink, like, I need to do something different with my life. This is like an important thing which happens once in your life, sometimes 2 times, because your subconscious is screaming so hard. But actually, you can make this part of your normal way of living, your normal communication with your subconscious, your inner child or your inner voice. Because your inner voice is hearing what is your higher purpose. What is it that you're here for in life? And once you have those 2, 1 and 2, you can basically get the energy. And the energy is amazing because you can compare it as follows. The first step is like meditation somehow, different forms. It gives you the light. It gives you the insight, makes you see the light, as they say. The second step basically is subconscious reprogramming, is turn that light into a certain direction, what you should be looking at, what you should be working to, what you should be paying attention to. But then that inner energy, right, actually allows your subconscious, this is the energy in your body, we know this is in your body, but your subconscious is able to take that energy from your body and to pull that into a certain purpose, whether through your brain with quantum entanglement, whether with your heart, with passion, with energy, but that turns the light into a laser. So this is purely how you personally grow. Now you can also personally turn that then into a business context if you want to focus on a business result, and that is step 4. So this is what I wanted to share with you today. It's very short and it touches a lot of things. I hope I got a bit of sense in your minds talking about this. This was a thinkitation exercise. So it is meditation for a purpose. That's why it's called thinkitation. Tom Billieux actually came up with this name. He's a billionaire, actually got all his insights, his great ideas from doing this kind of insight, this exercise. So I just want to show you this. I'm not going to say anything about it, but this is a passion project that I'm working on with Brian, who was also in the call. But we are working on some tech to actually combine those things that you just saw. And that's all I'm going to say about it. So I would just like to say that increasing your authenticity, which actually is inner alignment, being aligned with the real you, will help you to get improved intuition for what you really want. It will give you an improved connection with your partner, whether this is your wife, your husband, or your business partner, your boss, your team. It will also give you improved results in your business or career, because not only you have the focus, but you can really put your energy in it. Can you imagine that you can do Tai Chi and prana and breathing and get the energy in your body? Your biochemistry is able to to call upon that energy to actually execute what you want. And your subconscious helps to do that. So if you would like to try out a little bit more, I'm putting together an authenticity questionnaire to help you understand a little bit like how good are you innerly aligned at the moment. If you're looking at business, I'm happy to share the master file that I got from my coach, my mentor, quite some years ago. He used to work with Jack Welch from GE. He has dyslexia, so he cannot even read properly, but he can in a really great way just put things in context. Now, my mind has ADD. That's why my presentation might be very confusing, because I pulled so many things together, but this is also a strength. So it's important to understand how you get your weakness into a strength. So it helped me a lot. I'm happy to share that with you too, anybody who wants it. So I'd love to share. I go back to the ladies now.